to Rafa Rides 2021. As we head intercontinental this session, we head to New Zealand, Hawaii, Ramstein, and we are joined by RAF Ambassador and one of our newest RAF ambassadors and celebrity chef. So lots coming up this time. First off, let's start with a little teaser. Las Vegas recorded some amazing drone footage on one of their training rides, and we can check that out right now. We'll be checking in with the team at Las Vegas later on in one of the sessions. But for now, without further ado, we are connecting colleagues, friends all around the world, whether they're taking part virtually all over the globe or here in Leicestershire where they're taking on a 35, 70 or 100-mile route. We are joined by members of the Quarantine. So we've got Gary, Kiwi and Dave on the line. Kiwi and Dave have joined us looking at rather sunny on a bench over there. Are you with us, guys?
We are.
Yeah, we are. It's lovely here. Thank you. Yeah.
Very nice.
Having a great time.
Now, guys, you are cycling 24 hours throughout the day and night in solidarity with all the teams taking part across the world, but specifically some friends that you guys have got in New Zealand. Tell me about those guys.
So we've got really good friends, Sean and Amy Perrett. So Sean joined the Air Force same sort of time as me, and also when Dave and Kiwi over there. We flew Harriers together, and then I subsequently went on and flew with the Red Arrows, where Sean was already a Red Arrows pilot. So we spent a lot of time in the air, in bars, socially with Sean, and I'm really looking forward to catching up with him once more.
Brilliant. So without further ado, let's head over to New Zealand. Have we got New Zealand on the line? This is a bit Eurovision, isn't it? Where you're like, come in New Zealand.
Now there's a time delay. I didn't realise an hour delay.
Come on, New Zealand.
So tell us a little bit about why Rafa Rides is great at connecting colleagues, because this isn't the only colleague that we've got a connection with.
No, and that's what's really good about the Rafa Rides. It's brought people from around the world, and I know later you'll talk to Hawaii, and Nev's going to come in, who's done so much great work in the whole event. But connecting with people from different places around the world, either still serving or have decided to elect to go and live in some other part of the world, and actually we can bring them together. And that's what's really good about Rafa in terms of the connections for life. I think it brings it really home to all of us.
Absolutely. I think we're having a little trouble connecting with New Zealand. So what we might do now is, if we cut to some fabulous footage that we took earlier in the week, RAF Waddington have been absolutely superb at supporting everything Rafa Rides, and we were really grateful from this message of support from Group Captain Steve Kilvington earlier on this week. So take it away, guys.
Hi, I'm Group Captain Steve Kilvington, the Station Commander here at RAF Waddington in Lincolnshire, home to the RAF's I-Star Force and the Air and Space Warfare Centre. I'd like to talk to you today about an opportunity to help one of the RAF's major service charities. Since 1929, the Royal Air Forces Association, or RAFA, has provided welfare services, financial support and friendship to members of the RAF family in their time of need. Like many charities, the COVID pandemic has seriously impacted RAFA's fundraising and its aspirations to deliver vital help and support to tens of thousands of people from over 350 branches in 90 countries worldwide. So it's perhaps now more important than ever that we find ways to help them raise as much as possible, so that they can continue to provide such exceptional welfare support. In 2021, the Rafa Rides cycling event is going global, and I'm delighted that RAF Waddington has been asked to support this year by acting as its partnering station. With personnel from the I-Star Force, the Air and Space Warfare Centre, and in countries all around the world, we're perfectly placed to partner the event, but we need your help. Teams of cyclists from around the globe will be joining in over a 24-hour period from 7 p.m. on Friday the 4th of June to 7 p.m. on Saturday the 5th of June, with a live group cycling event being held around Waltham on the Wolds in Lincolnshire on the Saturday. So how can you help? Well, whether you want to take on the 30, the 70 or the 100-mile live event in Waltham, to cycle around your local village, or perhaps just to put some distance in on a spinning bike, every single mile will count as we aim to collectively cycle the circumference of the globe, some 24,901 miles. Our aim is simple: to get as many people in as many different places, both at home and abroad, cycling as many miles as they can to complete that virtual journey from Waddington around the world, and to raise some much needed funds in the process. So why not be part of the collective effort alongside one of the teams that have already stood up in Europe, Africa, the Middle East, the Far East, the USA, Australia and New Zealand, all of whom are connected by one aim: providing support to RAFA to help our RAF community. More details of the event are available at the link below, which is www.rafa.org UK RAFA Rides 21. And please check out the Just Giving campaign page by searching for RAFA Rides 2021. Thanks for listening. Whether you're part of the military, wearing green or blue, or whether you're one of our civilian partners, industrial partners, whether you're over here or overseas, join in. I hope to see you connected soon at the event or online sometime in June. Thank you.
And I don't think I could put it better myself. Thank you so much, Group Captain Kilvington. We really appreciate your support. I believe he's joining us tomorrow as well from Leicestershire, which is super. I've changed hosts. Gary has got a new face and we were joined by Nev. I really want to call him by his nickname, but I'm going to stop. I think his wife has influenced it. Nev, you used to work with someone that we're about to chat to.
I actually worked with both of them.
Both of them?
Yeah, but more so a lady who we're about to meet.
Fabulous. Let's go live from...
They don't have the camera on at the moment.
Hawaii, are you there?
Good morning.
Good afternoon, good morning, Hawaii. We are just short of your video, if that's all right. There you are, beautifully done. There we go. Hi, guys, how are we doing?
Hi.
Please welcome Mike and Sharon Carver. Hi, team.
Hi.
Where in the world are you?
So currently we're in Hawaii, which is not too bad. Just finished our ride, and don't be fooled with the sunshine. Just like the UK, it rained halfway around.
That makes me feel slightly better about the drizzly ride that we had in from Waddington. It's really great to see you both.
And you know.
And you know, yeah, nice to see you back there in the UK. Hope all's good.
It is. So you've given us the opportunity to make everybody else exceptionally jealous. I mean, we've seen some amazing footage from people in California, Florida, Lossiemouth. But the backdrop that I saw from the photographs from the pair of you earlier on was sensational. So, yeah, very, very jealous. It's wonderful to see you, and thank you so much, especially considering you probably had to get up relatively early where you are.
It wasn't too bad. Set out at about 6 o'clock this morning, but that's more by choice in many ways because it gets a bit warm later on. I know that's not going to be good for those in Lossiemouth and everywhere else, but but then just to serve me right, it rains. That's okay. So I caught the worst part today.
That's awesome. So I mentioned to Amy that my relationship with Sharon started back in 1997. But I had to sort of hark back that far. Yeah. Well, so I think Sharon was in charge of discipline, but I think she probably failed with this one here. But then we also had the pleasure of going through initial officer training together before we then went to join forces with yourself at RAF Lynham, Mike, which was probably still quite a long time ago, actually, in reality, wasn't it?
I don't want to think how long ago it was. I can confirm she's still in charge of discipline, though. That still goes on.
I'm not surprised, to be honest. I'm not surprised at all. So RAFA certainly is one of those service charities that many of us have the pleasure and privilege of working with, and certainly some of my people have had the support that they provide. Have you got any sort of examples of work that you've done with RAFA previously? What does RAFA mean to you two?
Okay, so I've been a lifetime member since 1999. And then more recently, when I left the regulars, joined the reserves, and the WRAF branch was set up virtually, I transferred across to them. Secondary branch was Harrow. Unfortunately, that didn't survive COVID, and that's one of the branches that had to shut down the club. And whilst I was at Northolt, I became a Rafa befriender. So we're basically doing this because, I can't befriend from afar, but this is our contribution to Rafa.
I think I'd add, Nevs, so we're both third generation Air Force, so we've been in the Air Force family a while, in various connections. And one of the things we've always admired is the excellent support Rafa gives the RAF family. And it's just nice that the geography of this enables us to connect and help to facilitate some of that support in our own tiny way, which is great, because I think what they do is so important for the RAF family.
Absolutely. I don't think it's in a tiny way at all. I've seen some of the fundraising that's gone out. It's been pretty eye-watering. That's superb. I'm going to stop pretending that I know what I'm doing with this microphone now and hand back to Amy. It is so wonderful to see you both, especially with that sunshine in the background. I'm very jealous. I hope to see you again soon. Very best to you both.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
We had a slight tech failure there with microphones, but I think we covered it beautifully. We did. Thank you so much, Mike. Sharon, it was wonderful. We're still trying to get New Zealand on the line. We can always push it back. We'll wake them up super early in the morning or something like that. That'd be fine. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Now, in completing our intercontinental drive today, we've got Wing Commander Seamus McGowan on. Seamus, where in the world are you?
Use the Ramstein transition.
So I'm currently in Ramstein, which is a little bit damper than we hoped for the ride. We've just completed our first 50-mile loop. We're getting changed out of sort of very wet clothing, having sort of been caught in a thunderstorm on the way around.
Oh no, that sounds dreadful. We won't tell you that it's been glorious sunshine here. And for the UK, that is unusual. Not bad. So tell us about your ride, Mike.
So we have a range of sort of different people from Ramstein doing different distances. There's 4 of us who are going to attempt 100 miles today, get up tomorrow morning and then ride another 100 miles. And then we have different people join us during the day for 50-mile loops. So about sort of 10 to 12 riders all in all. And that's not just RAF, but we also have a USAFE rider and a Danish rider as well.
That sounds incredible. Great lineup there as well. So unfortunate about the weather though. So what made you want to take part in Rafa rides today, Seamus?
So a long-term cyclist, and also having been in the RAF for a considerable period of time, I've seen sort of a lot of the work that sort of Rafa do. And it just sort of happened sort of where you can combine sort of two really good things together, encourage people into sort of doing a bit of sport and fitness, raising some money for a charity that sort of can affect anybody at any time in their career, and even after they leave the Air Force, just sort of seemed like a good thing to do.
That's brilliant. And the take-up you've had has obviously been really good. Are you all keen cyclists, or was this all new to the bike?
We've got very few people who are new to the bike, but a few people we had to maybe press into riding maybe a little bit more than they would have liked. But once we get them sort of all in going, they're really enjoying it. I think it's that sort of stretch of, if you don't ride a lot into the unknown, what's it going to be like in this 50-mile loop? So teaching people about sort of pacing, not the right to fast start, eating and drinking, and particularly when the weather was sort of quite warm when we started, and then sort of the thunder and the rain actually almost was pleasant to cool down. Yeah. So it's a quick change, and then we're back out again for another 50 miles this evening. We should finish about 1 o'clock in the morning local.
Very impressive efforts, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today, Seamus, and say thank you to all your team. Cheer them on for us.
Thank you very much for your help, and good luck with the rest of the show.
Thank you, Seamus. Have a good one. That's absolutely brilliant. So then we've had Hawaii, we've gone to Ramstein, we're still trying to connect with New Zealand, but we'll get there. We'll push them back next time. But I am delighted to be joined by the latest RAF ambassador, celebrity chef. You might know him from Saturday Kitchen, perhaps Food and Wrapped. And I feel a little out of place by interviewing such an amazing television host. So I up my game ever so slightly. Who are you, sir, and where are you from?
Hello, I'm Matt Towett, and I'm currently in Chelsea. We have a show to do tomorrow. Can you hear me all right, guys?
Perfect.
Brilliant. Nice to be with you. Before we go on, Nev, can you tell me what your nickname was?
This is horrific. So, I'm not. If I don't, I think Amy probably will. And if Amy's going to sponsor me £20, I will tell you.
I will sponsor you £20.
So my nickname is Nevi Nunu, and that's now gone out live. Right. £20 I don't think was enough, was it, Matt?
That was £21 well spent, I'd say. Very
Thanks.
cute.
Thanks, pal.
I'm afraid you can't see that he's gone the same colour as the sofa. Matt, you've recently become one of our RAF Association ambassadors. Tell us why the Air Force means so much to you.
Well, I've got a bit of a history with it. Obviously, you know, like a lot of people, through parents, grandparents, etc. I was going into it as a kid. I was heading into I went in to join the Air Squadron when I went to uni. I went to uni just to get a degree so I could get into that. And then I joined that, and it was the most fantastic flying club you could ever wish for. Subsidized beer, flying on your days off. It was great. And went down well in nightclubs. Let's be honest. So after I did a couple of years there, and then I realized, like my cycling, my flying was quite, they used to call it a little bit agricultural. I decided I sort of went into the food world because I was ultimately a lot better at cooking than I was at throwing planes around the sky. But I've always kind of kept a love of the Air Force. I've got friends who are still in it, and now I've got sort of more time, I suppose. I got out of the restaurant business, and now I've got more time to kind of sort of enjoy that again. And it's a great sort of charity, and it's lovely to be a part of.
And we are very grateful to have you part of it as well. So I can see from your Instagram of late, you might have invested in some cycling equipment. How's that training going?
Yeah, it's sporadic, should we say? And now I've got a very nice bit of Lycra. Now I'm middle-aged. I thought, what do I do now? So I went out and brought a mountain bike just before lockdown. So I know it's not a road bike, but it's a mountain bike all the same. I've so far had about 4 punctures. There's a whole fallacy that they can go anywhere. They really, really effing can't, quite frankly. But it's a really good colour. It's a Montague paratrooper, and it folds up, and that's what drew me to it. But you can throw yourself out of a plane with it strapped to your front, but you can't go over the Welsh Hills over thorns. I'll tell you.
So what we took from that is he chose it for the colour. That's what I got from that one. So Matt, you obviously shared your fabulous banana bread recipe with us. What tips would you give to fuel people's cycles?
Okay, so listen, I'm no Joe Wicks, but you kind of want, thankfully, I might add, but you kind of want slow kind of release stuff. Porridge, nuts, bananas are brilliant. Sweet potatoes are great. They're all obviously very messy foods for bikes. That's not very practical. That's the sort of thing you have just before you get on a bike. Oily fish is another good one. When you're on the bike, it's all about hydration, right? Hydration tablets and those awful gels. I don't know if you tried those. They're not pleasant. But once you can get through that and you can achieve, what you want to achieve, however many miles you undertake, obviously ice cold beer. Maybe.
Well, it's really interesting because some of the quarantine did just make their way up to the local, and their question to you was, how does fish and chips and a pint of beer fuel a cycle?
That's fabulous.
You heard it here first.
It's really good for the soul. I told you I'm not Joe Wicks. That was awful.
I love it. That's brilliant. So, Matt, thank you so much for joining us today. We just hoped you might finish with a message of support to all our cyclists out there, whether they're taking part at the moment or joining us tomorrow.
Absolutely. I mean, I wish you all the very best. Honestly, if it wasn't for this live show that keeps my mortgage paid tomorrow morning, I would be joining you. And I just wish you all the very best. It's a hell of an achievement, and I love the fact that the whole community from all around the world gets together. however bad the signals are in New Zealand. But it's a fabulous thing to be a part of, and congratulations to everyone.
Thank you so much, Matt. We really appreciate your support as ambassador and your joining us here today. We will check in with you again at 1300 tomorrow, I believe.
1300, good military timing there. 1300 after the show, absolutely. 1 o'clock to everyone else.
Very good. Thank you so much, Matt. Enjoy tomorrow, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thank you. Good luck.
So we might not have been able to join up with New Zealand, but I think that was a pretty intercontinental trip across the world there. So brilliant stuff. As we pack down Rapid Rides 2021, we've got some awesome things coming up soon. So you can catch up with us tomorrow. We'll be bright and early, 7:15 in the morning. We'll have put the kettle on, had a coffee, and be raring to go as our cyclists here at Leicestershire make their way out to the roads, and we can check out all the stuff that we've got going on overnight on our feed tomorrow morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy cycling.